Sup, dude? Lou Williams is one of the greatest players of all time, not just in basketball but also in life. The guy had 2 girlfriends at the same time, he has a signature wing flavor at Magic City, and he somehow convinced NBA teams that playing defense was optional. But let's be real, he could get away with all this because he was dirty when it came to scoring the basketball. If getting buckets was a crime, Lou would be facing more time than Diddy. Dude was so good at scoring he could play drunk. Literally, when he was on the Clippers, he played against the Knicks drunk and put up 25 in the 4th. And the way he got his buckets was like pouring to a basketball lover's eyes. He had the game of a dude who hooped at LA Fitness all day but somehow ended up in the NBA. The handle, the pull-up jumper, the off-bounce fadeaway, he looked like he was playing pickup but against professional athletes. But before he was making NBA defenses look like chickens with their heads cut off, he was violating high schoolers all over Georgia. As a senior playing for South Gwinnett High, he averaged 27 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and was named Naismith Prep Player of the Year. The guy made Georgia high school hoops look like a special ed women's church league. Bro was Kanye versus those kids in wheelchairs. If social media was around back then, he would have been as hyped up as guys like Zion or the Ball brothers. But after graduating, Lou made an interesting decision. At first, he was thinking about going to Georgia to play college ball, but I guess he didn't want to waste a year just to play in the not-in-tournament, so instead he put his name in the NBA draft. This was a bit crazy because to these NBA scouts, he was like floating an air biscuit after eating Taco Bell. He was one of those farts that you can't trust because it feels like it might do some splash damage. What I mean by that is to these teams, drafting Lou was taking a huge risk. Dude was trying to go pro after only playing against high schoolers. The guy was built like a starving child and NBA teams didn't know if his game would translate against grown men. Because of that, in a very unimpressive draft combine, Lou fell pretty much to the end of the 2005 draft until eventually he got selected by Philly with the 45th pick. The high schooler joined a 76ers squad led by Allen Iverson, which I assume was a dream come true. I mean, AI was an undersized guard who could put the ball in the basket like it was nothing. He was perfect for Lou in terms of being a mentor. Speaking of AI, we all use platforms like ChatGPT, but have you ever stopped to think about what they're doing with your conversations? They're listening, learning, and storing all that data. And who knows where it ends up? With third parties, the government? It's all a bit unsettling to me. I mean, think about it. We share our thoughts, our dreams, our sensitive questions, and even our business opportunities with these platforms. And they tie all that information to our identities. It's like having a personal spy in your pocket. That's why I've started using today's sponsor, Venice AI. They're a generative AI platform that's private and permissionless. No downloads, no installations, just pure AI power in your browser. And the best part, they don't spy on you or censor the AI. Your conversation history is stored only in your browser and your messages are encrypted. It's like having a secret vault for your thoughts. I'm a big fan of their Pro plan. It gives you access to some amazing features like PDF uploads for summaries or insights, the ability to turn off safe mode for unhindered image generation, and you can even modify the system prompt to change how the model interacts with you. Plus, you get limitless text and high image limits. If you want to try it out and support their cause, you can get 20% off a Pro plan using my link, VeniceAI/MBAGoober. Trust me, it's worth it. Say goodbye to worrying about who's listening and hello to private, uncensored AI. Anywho, unlike AI, Allen Iverson that is, who came into the league as a #1 pick and a franchise savior, Lou Williams was a second-round afterthought who had to get it out the mud. The Sixers weren't expecting him to be the next Iverson. They were just hoping he didn't suck ass. But they couldn't judge him too hard at first because they drafted him fully knowing he was going to need some time to figure things out. This was apparent in his first year and a half. As a rookie, Lou got about 5 minutes a night and averaged 2 points, and then the next year he got exiled to the gulags of the D-League. But then after cooking the D-League comp, Allen Iverson got traded, and in December of 2006, Lou got called back up to play with the big dogs. This was when Lou started to find his footing, showing flashes of the bench magician he was about to become. Finally, by his 3rd season, he was able to show Philly they made the right pick. He blossomed into one of the best bench players in the league, averaging a respectable 11 points, 3 assists, and a steal, proving he wasn't some fraud high school mixtape merchant. Dude was like a get-out-of-jail-free card for the offense. Whenever the starters were sucking, they'd throw Lou in there like a Hail Mary and pray he'd save them. I'd like to gas him up here and say most of the time when he checked in, he did save them, but let's be real. It was a 50-50 shot. He played well. He was super hit or miss. Some games he was hotter than Sidney Sweeney, and others, bro, was Bob the Builder out there laying bricks. But that was the Lou Will experience. Live by the bucket, die by the bucket. And even though he wasn't the most consistent, Philly knew they had something special. Fast forward to 2011, Lou had his biggest moment in his Sixers uniform. First round of the playoffs, Game 4 against the Miami Heat super team. Philly was down 3-0 in the series and about to get swept, but Lou wasn't about to go out sad. With less than 10 seconds left, he got the ball at the top of the key, sized up Dwayne Wade, one of the best best perimeter defenders ever and hit a cold-blooded step-back three right in his eye. The crowd lost its mind and the Sixers forced a Game 5. Of course, they got packed up the very next game because, they were up against the Avengers, but for that moment, Lou Will was the king of Philly. That shot was the perfect representation of his game. No fear, all confidence, and a pure scorer's mentality. Riding that high, Lou finished the next season as the runner-up for Sixth Man of the Year, but his time in Philly was winding down. After 7 seasons with the Sixers, he started getting passed around the league like a blunt. In 2012, he signed with his hometown Atlanta Hawks and was looking solid until he tore his ACL and missed the rest of the season. And the year after that, rough. One of the worst seasons of his career. Dude barely averaged 10 points and he shot a Trae Young like 40% from the field. So after 2 disappointing years, Atlanta shipped him off to Toronto, and finally Lou got his flowers. He came off the bench and cooked, winning his first Sixth Man of the Year award. You'd think that it'd earn him some job security, right? Nope. Despite winning Sixth Man of the Year, Toronto let him walk in free agency after just 1 year. Lou took his talents to LA, signing a 3-year deal with the Lakers. This was where things started to get a bit better for him. As a Laker, he was scoring with the best of them, putting up 15 to 20 points nightly and single-handedly winning LA games. But LA didn't want to win, so after a quick 1.5 seasons, they shipped him off to Houston. Dude didn't even last a year with the Rockets. He got traded to the Clippers after playing just 23 games. This was his 5th team in like 4 years. The league was Dennis Schroedering him. While up to this point, his time in the league had been pretty bumpy. He was about to have the best years of his career. Lou had finally found his true home with the Clippers. They were a team that needed scoring off the bench like a crackhead needs crack. It was at that point, at 31 years old, after being in the league for over a decade, when Lou entered his prime and became the ultimate sixth man. The guy was straight up cooking as a Clipper, lighting up second units and dropping 20 plus points on any given night like it was nothing. In his first season with them, he averaged a career high 23 points per game, won Sixth Man of the Year for the second time. Then the year after that, he averaged 20 and won Sixth Man of the Year again, joining Jamal Crawford as the only players to win it 3 times. During the regular season, he was fantastic, but in the playoffs, the Clippers pissed the bed. They got bounced by the Warriors in the first round in 2019, then in the bubble, they blew a 3-1 lead against the Nuggets. Lou was particularly terrible in that Nuggets series, shooting like Helen Keller from the field. After that meltdown, it was clear the Clippers needed to switch things up. Doc Rivers got booted, the roster got shuffled, and Lou, once the engine of their bench offense, got treated like expired milk. In 2021, they sent him back to Atlanta in exchange for playoff Rondo, which sounds cool until you remember Rondo was old as dirt and he had the knees of a hospice patient. Lou debated retiring at that point because he felt betrayed, but he ultimately decided to stick it out, which turned out to be pretty rewarding. With the Hawks, he played pretty well. During their 2021 playoff run, Sweet Lou scored extremely efficiently for his standards, helping the Hawks make it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. But unfortunately, after that playoff run, Father Time started to check in, Lou's minutes dropped, the buckets got fewer, and the microwave slowly stopped microwaving. He played one more year in the A, but by 2022, it was clear the curtain was closing. No farewell tour, no jersey retirement, just a quiet goodbye from one of the coldest bucket getters ever. Although he barely got any playoff action during his long career and it took him a minute to play his best ball, the guy was a walking bucket. He proved that being a star doesn't mean starting. He showed everyone that you can be an absolute legend even if you come off the bench. Speaking of underappreciated guys, the dude I made a video on last is someone who isn't really talked about at all. Despite this, he has a Finals MVP and 3 rings. His name is Dennis Johnson, a legendary defensive-minded point god. You can click here to watch the video I made on him. As always, big thank you to the Goobers, Aaron Stark, Sheesh, MadeZO2, Nolan Fincher, HTL, Tippy Lou, Quinn Murphy, and Bray Thompson. Thanks for watching this one. Hope you enjoyed. Bye, dude.